best kind of race carring is sitting in the air conditioning, letting your buddies do all the work. He says the key that unlocks it says China. China.
Let's say China.
Well, joke's on me. I get to sweep the floor. When you hire me as your race truck tuner, builder, transmission guy, you get a free brooming of the trailer service with the price of admission. Real men load their race trucks backwards in the race trailer. Let's go racing, boys. Or testing, I should say. See you tomorrow, Edgewater. We have arrived to the beautiful, oh so wonderful Ohio, in Cleves, Ohio, Edgewater Sports Park. So, got the truck out of the trailer. Next step will be getting teched in. They're in there filling out the tech card right now. And then we'll go take Jordan to look at the track, show him some areas on the surface, stuff that I want him to know, like where the 60 foot is, where the turnoffs are, how much shutdown you got, all the important safety stuff, and what he's gonna need to know to be able to start shaking this thing down tonight. Okay, so our very first run ever with the truck is in the books. As I expected, and this is really common with a new driver, so it is nothing to be ashamed of. If you've never driven anything of this caliber before, when you let off the button, if you don't have your foot really planted in the throttle and you don't know what to expect, 9 times out of 10, most guys are going to lift off the throttle. It's totally common. We talked about it beforehand, and I told them, if it happens, don't worry about it. That's what these tests are for. We're here to test, to get you acclimated with the truck, so you know what, okay, that feels like. I know that, I just need to stay in it through there. So it's common. You just got to make a conscious effort of keeping your foot down. And the faster you go, the more you really got to think about that, because the more you really want to lift off that thing. So let's take a look at the data here. We don't have a whole lot of data from that run because when you lift off the throttle, it basically screws everything up suspension-wise. But we do have a little bit before we lift it to examine here. Okay, so playing with pretty colors here. The green is our drive shaft RPM. This is one of the most critical things that you can have in data, in my opinion. There's always 3 things that I'll pull up. I'm always pulling up drive shaft, boost, and engine RPM. Those are the 3 first things that I want to look at no matter what. So red is our engine RPM and blue is our boost. And immediately after the trans brake release, or before trans brake release, we are making 20.6 pounds of boost, 3,093 RPM. That's a good starting point there. Upon trans brake release, we've got a little bump up in drive shaft RPM. That's the wrapping of the tire. And then from there, it just kind of climbs out. It's a nice looking graph, but it's obviously slow because you see this big dip in engine RPM. That's where you lift it. So it got up to almost 3,500 engine RPM when he lifted at 0.18. So that's indicative of as soon as you release the trans brake, sets you back in the seat, and then you lift off throttle. Totally fine. That's why we're here. He got back in it. It's initial, kind of what your body tells you to do is to pedal it. It's really hard to learn how to not pedal, but I'm glad he got back in it a little bit, so we have a little bit of shift point data here. He ran it up. It got to 5,038 RPM, 1,222 drive shaft RPM. I had it commanding the shifter between 11 and 1,200, and it shifts, and then he lifts at the exact same time that it shifts. So we have some good things from this. We have boost, what it left the starting line at. We know that it shifted when we wanted it to shift. And so now, we're going to go out there and not make any more changes. We're going to just repeat this run and, just hold your foot down the whole way and see what we can come up with. Second run is in the books. That was quite a bit of an improvement over the first one. The data, on the other hand, says that we got some work to do. We got to change some hard parts on this thing to get it to cooperate. Let's take a look at the data here and I'll explain it. So just like the first run, green is our drive shaft RPM, red is engine RPM, and blue is boost. Your drive shaft RPM should basically never look like that. It should be a nice, even curve on a good run. The higher it is, the faster it's going to be if you can keep it smooth. This one here looks like a seismograph, and what's happening there is that is what I call spin hooking. So the tire is initially it wraps the tire. That's what this little movement is here, and then it starts to climb up, and then that's when it all gets out of check. So at about 0.4 into the run, it starts to lose the tire. Drive shaft RPM starts going up, then it hooks up again, pulls it back down, and then it just continues this process all the way up until he lifts where I told him to right after the 1-2 shift. So driver did his job exactly as he was instructed. The tuner chassis suspension transmission guy has some work to do here. Hard to know exactly what your shift drop is when it is spinning this bad. As you can see, the engine RPM is up and down, also indicative of spinning. If we had the G meter set up right now, you would see the G's would tank when drive shaft RPM would go up, and that's how you know for sure that something's spinning. But we definitely know that this thing is through here. It makes the shift exactly where I wanted it to, right at 5,000 RPM. Falls to only about 400 or so RPM, but it's also spinning through there on the shift, so we can't really go by these numbers here too much. This is so ugly, the graph here, that we can't even check converter efficiency with too much weight, but made 22 pounds of boost on the starting line. That's this little fall here that it's always done on JP's truck, where it'll fall down about a pound of boost for the first tenth and a half of a second, and then it'll climb back up. It's not a problem right now, but one day, as we start continuing on with this truck, it's something we probably need to remember and think about. Climbed up to about 57.8 pounds of boost, right when he lifted, right when he's supposed to. Surprisingly, with as gross as this looks, this was a 147 60 foot. It went a 147 with a 4, and he was out of it right at 1.44, 1.45. So he was instructed to run it to the 1-2 shift and the 60 foot, whichever came first, and he did his job exactly as he was supposed to. So it's always refreshing when you have a race car driver that stays on task, and when you tell them to only run it to 60 feet, they have good discipline, and they only run it to 60 feet. All right, so that's going to do it. Day one, debut with the truck. Jordan's first time at the track. Overall success. I told him if it did anything, if it went to the starting line at all, that was a win. 147 6 foot is a great place to start, especially with all of the things that need to be fixed. So really great day. We're going to regroup and figure out what we are going to change moving forward. There's really no sense in putting any more runs on it right now until we figure out what hard part changes we want to make. It's topping the front shocks out really early. Those shocks are full tight right now, so there's really nothing that I can do to slow that down here at the racetrack. The converter is a little tight. We knew it was a little tight moving into this. It's showing us good reason to change it. I'd really like to get the 210 139 gear set in it. That's really going to calm the lead down. It's going to help with a big shift drop on the 1-2. So get this thing set up like all of the other race stuff out there, like Philip Franklin's 488 and JP's 497 and all that stuff. Same type of transmission at that point. With the gear sets, you can't bake the cake till you know the recipe, but this part of the recipe we do know, and we do know what we need to change. So we're going to regroup, figure out exactly what we're going to do moving forward, and I'll keep you guys up to date on when we're having this thing back out. So that's all I got. Hey, look, we just completed an entire video at the racetrack. start to finish. So another win. So I'm gonna go home, get a shower. I'm hot, I'm sweaty. Thanks for watching, guys. If you're new here, click the subscribe button, click the like button, and we'll see you next time with more content of Jordan Newman's First Kid.
It's radio time.